YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to do a quick little video on a staple that everyone should have in their wardrobe, and it's a basic gray sweatshirt. And today, I'm going to do it on the Real McCoy's 10-ounce Loopwheel sweatshirt. So let's get into it. So what is Loopwheel exactly? Well, it's essentially a way of knitting cotton yarns on a Loopwheel machine. There are currently only two machines, or two factories essentially, left in the world, and one is in Wakayama, Japan, and one is in Germany. Now, the one in Japan is where you see most of the items that we're talking about, for instance, the Real McCoy stuff today, coming out of Japan. And they also do lots of t-shirts for Studio Datazen and lots of stuff like that. So 99% of the garments you see today, or sweatshirts and t-shirts you see today, are flat knitting. Flat knitting came around in about the 1950s, and it's a cheap, fast and efficient way to make clothing items. Essentially, they take a front and they take a back and they stitch them together. And it's a quick way to make different sizes as well. Before that, in the 20s and 30s, they did tube knitting, or loop wheel, what we're looking at today. And it was where the fabric was held above the garment and it just went down, and the fabric essentially fell onto the garment in a circular motion. The problem with that was that it was extremely slow, and they could only do about a meter an hour. The other thing is, when the fabric fell on the garment, it was all set in one size, so they could only do one size at a time, and for that reason they had to have more and more machines and so on and so forth. So that's why flat knitting became a cheap and easier way to produce garments. So the idea is that the Loopwheel machine hangs, the cotton and fabric that it knits essentially falls down, and that places no tension on the fabric, resulting in a denser, softer, more luxurious knit of the cotton. Right, so here's my plain Loopwheel grey sweatshirt from Real McCoy's. I think it goes under the Joe McCoy brand, which is their kind of, I don't know if it's an offshoot, but that's where they do like the reproductions of the old track and field, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's 10 ounce, so, you know, kind of thin, but still it feels a little bit thicker because it's got the brushed lining here. Now, I mean, there's not really much to say about it. It's a plain sweater, so the front's got the V stitching, but also the back has it as well. Something to be aware of. I have been called out in the office by people thinking that I've got my jumper, my sweatshirt on backwards, so just bear that in mind. But because it's loop-wheeled, and as I said, the fabric falls and there's no tension on it, it's got that sort of kind of hard to say, but like a plump kind of baggy feel to it. It hasn't been stretched, it's got that elasticity to it. So it is a very luxurious and comforting feeling sweatshirt or jumper. If you're going to be wearing it outside, obviously you are. If you're going to be wearing it with an outerwear, just keep in mind that because it's got the brushed lining, it does feel a little thick. So that goes all the way through to the arms there. So if you've got something that's got a short sleeve opening, then it's worth considering that as well. Now, wear-wise, it's been fine. It's just got the usual. I've had it for 5 years, bought it in 2015, we're in 2020 now. You know, the usual spots down the lower back where you're leaning up against chairs or whatever. If I was to show you there, it's gray, so you can't really see, you know, those, what do you call them? Those balls that form on the end there. You can feel a little bit there, but you can't really see much. The inside, there's a little bit of transfer of indigo from certain t-shirts and that alike there, but that's fine. But there's nothing else, nothing unstitched, nothing coming undone. The lining is intact all the way through. Stitching is very solid all the way through. Washed it loads of times. You know, because it's extremely thick, it does take a while to dry. So that's something to be aware of. But overall, it's actually really, it's held up amazingly. Other than that, plain grey sweatshirt, you know, you can't really go wrong with it. Now, if we want to talk value, price, that kind of thing, it's expensive. It's what, 175 pounds, 170 euro, something like that. You know, is it worth it? I mean, for the fact that it's loop-wheeled, yeah, I think it's worth it. You've seen how long it takes to make them. You understand there's only one factory, or one in Japan, two in the world, that still do this kind of stuff. So it's a time-intensive process. So yeah, I understand why it costs that much money. But do you need it? No, I don't think you do. You know, you can get a play grade sweatshirt from anywhere that will keep you warm. I mean, even the brands that I talk about do great sweatshirts that are probably a lot cheaper, a quarter of the price than this at, you know, all those kind of retailers that I talk about. So I don't think you need it. It's a luxury for sure, and it's just something to be aware of. So I just thought I'd give you guys an insight if you're considering buying that, if you've looked into it before. It is lovely. You'll see in the B-roll that it looks good, it sits well. It's something truly for winter and cold months. But yeah, all right guys, that's a little insight into my Essential, which is a gray sweatshirt from the Real McCoy's. It's 10 ounce Loopwheel sweatshirt. I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like or a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. If you've not subscribed already, really appreciate it if you hit that red button, that subscribe button. And with all that being said, we'll see you in the next one.